ကျွန်တော်တို့စက်ရုံ NHR မှာစက်ပစ္စည်းထုတ်တာအများကြီးရှိတယ်။အဲဒါကြောင့်ကျွန်တော်တို့အတူတကွကြိုးစားကြမယ်။
एलेचल उद्योग निर्माण कारखानामा हामी सबैको एक पेशा हुन्छ। हामी सबैले मिलेर काम गर्न धेरै महत्त्वपूर्ण हुन्छ। धेरै दलहरू मिलेर एउटा प्रोजेक्ट निर्माण गर्छन्। यसमा धेरै कुराहरू सिक्न पाइन्छ र रमाइलो पनि हुन्छ। धन्यवाद.
Fasa spesialis bermakna pakar dalam bidang aluminium window. Kita warga LSL harus tahu banyak tentang pembuatan produk aluminium. Pengalaman dan peluang belajar adalah rahsia kejayaan sesuatu.
LHL একটি নির্মাণ শিল্প এবং কারখানা। এটা একটি পেশার সাথে এটা একটি পেশাগত কোম্পানি। এই কোম্পানিগুলো অনেক কাজের সাথে জড়িত। একটা কনস্ট্রাকশন কাজের মধ্যে অনেকগুলো কাজ জড়িত থাকে এবং সবগুলো কাজই সমানভাবে গুরুত্বপূর্ণ এবং একটি প্রজেক্ট কমপ্লিট করতে হলে সবাইকেই সমানভাবে এখানে করতে হয়, এখানে সমানভাবে কাজে জড়িত করতে হয় এবং এখান থেকে অনেক কিছু শেখা যায় এবং এই শেখাটাই পরবর্তীতে অনেক কাজে আসে এবং কাজে লাগানো যায়।
In Singapore, every building you see is the product of hard work by professionals in the architectural, engineering and construction industries. Modern buildings tell the story of Singapore's development, charting its transformation from the slums and squatters of yesteryears to the vibrant cosmopolitan city-state that we see today. The construction industry not only creates jobs and drives economic activity, it also makes Singapore one of the best quality and most sustainable cities in the world to work and live in. The construction project requires close coordination of a team. The architect is the grand designer who creates the form or body of the building. A building usually begins with an idea or a concept in the architect's mind, but the architect doesn't just design. She is the one who transforms the specifications from the developer into a working blueprint. She makes sure that the building complies with the regulatory and technical requirements, while keeping in mind the primary considerations of materials, functionality, aesthetics, and the environmental impact. But the architect cannot work alone. She needs to work with others to translate her master blueprint into a physical building. The civil and structural engineer is the math and science whiz that produces the structural designs, setting the bones and joints to form the body of a building. A CNS engineer needs to decide how to build a solid frame and determine the location and size of every beam and column in a building. He also has to make efficient use of materials to construct the building in an environmentally sustainable manner. In other words, a CNS engineer is responsible for creating a practical and safe structure that can withstand anything the weather might bring: the wind, the sun, the rain, and the temperature changes. While a CNS engineer is the structure specialist that sets the bones, our M&E engineer is the expert responsible for connecting the veins, injecting the life force that brings a building into being. Every modern building needs electricity, lights, air conditioning, and ventilation systems to become a living, breathing, habitable place. Our M&E engineer is the person that takes care of that, making sure of the efficient use of energy and water and quality indoor living. For every project, there must be someone to take care of the money issues. The quantity surveyor is the one that manages the costs of a building project, from the initial calculations to the final figures. She must be skilled in the balancing act, analysing the numbers, assessing the risks, and preparing the tenders and contracts. That's a critical role, consolidating all the information and numbers to come up with the tender specifications and contracts. All these while ensuring that everything meets the required standards and quality. As the actual construction starts, someone has to ensure the smooth running of the project. The project manager's work revolves around three very important elements: time, cost, and quality. He becomes the key overseer once construction work begins, organising the resources to turn plans for a new building into reality. That means planning the time frame for all the necessary tasks, getting the project started from the initial stage of drafting to the final coat of paint, and to ensure that a project gets completed on time and within budget.
This is the F1 Singapore pit building. It is about a 40 million project. This building is something that we actually see on TV every year during the F1 night race in Singapore. I am actually very proud of this building because I actually was involved in it. That's where the ultimate satisfaction is when you see the completed building. The construction industry is also very dynamic. Every project is different. The learning cycle actually never ends. So this is where the interesting part comes in. When you know that you have never learned enough, the fun never ends, I would say.
As a quantity survey is actually very interesting and challenging because you have the chance to be involved in different kinds of projects when you know that you have played a part in contributing to the whole project from the scratch. It's actually very fulfilling.
Greatest satisfaction is to see a building being completed. Construction industry is also very dynamic. Every project is different. When you know that you have never learned enough, the fun never ends.
Bridgetown.
Cho nó đâu được không là tuy chồng này tuy nhà sưu rồi tuy chồng là nhà đây mà tuy nhà này to lên thì cổ lô to thì rồi có một phiếu của nó thì cái lô cho nó lúc tông nên bị ngán hiện chẳng cái lô thì nhỉ thì cái tụi bé bị cái lô thì cô đâu thể đâu gặp bao khi con này rồi đâu có này một gì xin xịn rồi tụi nó đâu cháu ok.
Aluminium faculty specialist भनेको मोहरा विशेषज्ञ र आल्मुनियमको बारेमा हामीलाई थाहा हुन्छ हामी निर्माण प्रविधि सिक्न पाउँछौं ज्ञान र अनुभव हामी आफैको पुँजी सम्पत्ति हो थ्यांक यू धन्यवाद
এই কোম্পানিতে কাজ করা এই শুধুমাত্র কাজ করার জন্যই কাজ করা না এবং শুধুমাত্র টাকা উপার্জন করার জন্যই কাজ করা না এই কোম্পানিতে কাজ করে অনেক কিছু শেখা যায় যেটা যেটা আপনি বাংলাদেশে যখন চলে যাবেন এই কোম্পানি ছেড়ে তখন এটাকে অনেক কাজে লাগাতে পারবেন কেউ যদি আপনাকে প্রশ্ন করে আপনি 5-6 বছর কিংবা 8 বছর মালয়েশিয়াতে কি কাজ করেছেন তখন আপনি অন্তত বলতে পারবেন যে হ্যাঁ আমি উইন্ডো ডোরস এগুলো অ্যালুমিনিয়ামের এই সব কাজ আমি করেছি এবং এই কাজে আমি খুব এক্সপার্ট এই কাজ আমি সব কিছু করতে পারি এটা আপনি কাজে লাগাতে পারবেন শুধু টাকা উপার্জন করার জন্যই কাজ না এবং কাজটাও শিখলে অনেক কাজে লাগানো যায় এই কাজটা পরবর্তীতে ভবিষ্যতে